Have you ever thought about the hidden dangers that might be hanging around in your everyday life? What are some surprising factors that could become dangerous after turning 70? As we get older, our bodies can face some health risks that might not always show clear warning signs. Lots of folks think that sudden death is simply an unfortunate and unpredictable occurrence. However, the reality is that there are certain triggers that can greatly raise the chances of life-threatening emergencies. And you know what the worst part is? Many of them tend to be overlooked until it's too late. In this video, we're diving into 5 unexpected triggers of sudden death that can really take people by surprise after the age of 70. These are not just random health concerns, they're quiet threats that catch you off guard when you least see them coming. From hidden heart conditions to everyday habits that seem harmless, each of these triggers can lead to serious consequences if we don't pay attention. But here's the bright side: once you figure out what they are, there are ways you can look out for yourself and lower your chances of facing risks. Stick around until the end, because getting to know these 5 triggers could really change the game for you, helping you enjoy your golden years instead of dealing with a health crisis that could have been avoided. When we're finished, you'll know exactly what to keep an eye on and, even better, how to protect yourself from these risks. Before we start, I would really appreciate it if you liked this video. You can also help me continue spreading these timeless lessons. If you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any videos. If you like this video, leave a comment with the number 1. If you don't, comment with the number 0 so I can improve future videos. All right, let's jump right in. First up, silent heart attacks. After the age of 70, one of the biggest health concerns is the risk of a heart attack. It happens without you even noticing. Unlike the dramatic scenes you see in movies, where someone grabs their chest and falls to the ground, silent heart attacks often don't show clear warning signs. Instead, they sneak in quietly, often confused with indigestion, fatigue, or a little bout of the flu. The issue here is that the symptoms can be quite subtle, which means many folks don't end up seeking medical help. This can lead to heart damage going unnoticed until it's really too late. Picture a guy like Richard, a lively 74-year-old who still loves his morning strolls and the occasional game of golf. A few months back, he started feeling more tired than usual, experienced a bit of shortness of breath, and noticed some slight discomfort in his upper back. He attributed it to a lack of sleep and let it go. What Richard didn't realize was that he had just experienced a silent heart attack. He never felt that intense chest pain that most folks think of when they hear heart attack, so he figured it was nothing to worry about. However, weeks later, his heart had taken quite a hit, leaving him at a much greater risk of sudden cardiac arrest. Silent heart attacks happen when blood flow to the heart is blocked, but the signs aren't easy to notice. Rather than experiencing a sharp pain, you may notice some discomfort in your jaw, neck, or even your upper stomach. You may notice a bit of dizziness, feel more tired than usual, or even have some nausea. Some folks confuse it with heartburn, a muscle strain, or even anxiety. But here's the thing: even if you're not feeling intense pain, your heart is still missing out on oxygen, and that can lead to some serious issues down the road. The real threat arises when a second, more serious heart attack occurs. If your heart has already taken a hit from a previous silent attack, your odds of making it through another one really take a nosedive. It's surprising how often folks find out they've had a heart attack during a routine checkup, or even worse, after they suddenly collapse without warning, and that's why being aware is so important. If you ever find yourself feeling unusually tired, having trouble catching your breath, or experiencing discomfort in your upper body, that's definitely something to pay attention to. Don't overlook it. Make sure to get it checked out. A straightforward Electrocardiogram, or EKG, along with a blood test, can show whether your heart has experienced any unnoticed damage. Staying ahead of the game is crucial, and being aware of the warning signs, even if they seem minor, can truly make a life-saving difference. Next up, we have postural hypertension and the risk of falls. When you stand up and feel a sudden drop in blood pressure, it might seem minor, but for those over 70, it can actually be quite serious. This condition, called postural hypotension, can lead to feelings of dizziness, lightheadedness, and sometimes even fainting. For younger folks, a quick dizzy spell might just feel like a little nuisance. However, for seniors, it's a major factor contributing to dangerous falls, which can lead to serious head injuries or hip fractures. What's really concerning is that many folks don't see it as a big deal until they've already taken a tumble. Meet George, a lively 78-year-old who still loves to sip his morning coffee at the local diner. One afternoon, he jumped up from his chair a bit too fast, and out of nowhere, the room started to spin around him. He reached out to steady himself, but before he realized it, he had lost his balance and found himself on the floor. After the fall, he ended up with a fractured hip. He initially believed that getting back on his feet would be a simple process. But then complications began to arise. He spent weeks in the hospital fighting off infections, and what began as a simple dizzy spell escalated into a serious life-threatening situation. Falls pose a significant health risk for seniors, not only due to the immediate injuries they can cause, but also because they frequently trigger a decline in overall health. A hip fracture can lead to several months of being less active, which can weaken the body, raise the chances of blood clots, and make infections more likely. Many seniors who experience a significant fall often find it challenging to regain their full independence. Even if they make it through the initial injury, the complications that come afterward can be really tough to handle. Have you ever wondered why postural hypotension seems to be more common as we get older? As we age, our bodies take a bit more time to adapt to changes in blood pressure. When we transition from sitting or lying down to standing, our heart might not pump blood as effectively. Factors like dehydration, medications, or existing health issues can make this situation even more challenging. That's why some seniors feel just fine when they're sitting down, but can feel a bit lightheaded as soon as they stand up. The most challenging part, it can strike out of the blue, and when a fall happens, it can trigger a series of health challenges that are tough to bounce back from. If you've ever felt a little lightheaded when getting up, it's important not to brush it off. Making a few simple changes to your daily routine, such as standing up slowly, drinking plenty of water, and reviewing any medications that might be affecting your blood pressure, can help lower your risk. However, the key step is being aware. Spotting the warning signs early and taking some simple steps can help you avoid a fall that might change everything in the blink of an eye. If you're still with me in this video and finding these insights helpful, I'd love for you to drop a comment with the number 2 below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you won't miss any of our videos. Your support enables us to keep bringing you great content that informs and inspires. All right, let's keep going. Third on the list, we have hidden blood clots, also known as deep vein thrombosis. Lots of folks believe that blood clots are just a concern in serious situations, like after surgery or during a lengthy hospital stay. What many people might not know is that blood clots can develop silently in the legs, often without any noticeable signs. When they break loose, they can make their way to the lungs, leading to a sudden and potentially deadly pulmonary embolism. That's why deep vein thrombosis, or DVT, is often referred to as a silent killer. It takes its time to build, But when it hits, it can be relentless. Imagine a guy named Harold, a 76-year-old who loves to spend hours reading on his porch. He doesn't see himself as inactive. He still runs errands, enjoys short walks, and tends to his light gardening. One afternoon, while relaxing in his recliner and enjoying some television, he noticed a bit of swelling in his calf. It wasn't painful at all, just a bit puffy. He thought he must have been sitting in one spot for too long, so he brushed it off. A few days later, he noticed he was feeling a bit short of breath, but he figured it was just the start of a cold. Harold had no idea that the swelling in his leg was due to a clot. One evening, he suddenly collapsed, and it turned out that the clot had made its way to his lungs. He had no idea what was about to happen. The unsettling thing about DVT is that it can occur in folks who don't see themselves as inactive at all. Sitting for long stretches, whether you're catching up on your favorite show, driving, or even while you sleep, can really slow down circulation in your legs, which might lead to the formation of clots. Sometimes the symptoms can be pretty subtle and easy to overlook. A bit of swelling, some tenderness, and a mild cramp in the calf. None of that sounds like an emergency, right? However, if a clot breaks loose and travels to the lungs, it can block oxygen flow in just seconds, leading to a sudden collapse or even instant death. As we get older, our circulation tends to slow down, which can put older adults at greater risk. Conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, and high blood pressure can further complicate things. Some medications, like those often prescribed for blood pressure or cholesterol, can also have an impact on clotting. Dehydration, something many seniors experience, can thicken the blood and increase the chances of clots forming. When you put all these factors together, what might look like a small problem can actually become a serious danger. Staying active is the best way to prevent DVT. If you find yourself sitting for a while, make sure to stand up and stretch every hour to keep things feeling good. Stretch your feet, get those legs moving, and stay hydrated to keep your blood circulating. Compression socks can be really helpful. If you see ongoing swelling, redness, or warmth in your leg, be sure to pay attention to it. Make sure to see a doctor right away. Spotting a clot early can really change the game, turning what could be a simple treatment into a serious emergency. Now let's dive into another quiet yet dangerous risk that many folks tend to ignore. Fourth on the list, infections that go unnoticed can lead to sepsis. One of the sneakiest threats to folks over 70 isn't something as dramatic as a heart attack or stroke. It's something much more sneaky. A seemingly minor infection that gradually develops into a serious and life-threatening condition known as sepsis. Sepsis occurs when the body has a severe response to an infection. This reaction causes widespread inflammation, which can result in organ failure, shock, and even sudden death. The danger lies in the fact that the symptoms often start off mild, causing many seniors to overlook them until it's too late. Meet Walter, an 81-year-old who takes great pride in hardly ever needing to visit a doctor. One afternoon, he realizes he's heading to the bathroom more often than normal, and he feels a bit of a burning sensation. He thinks it's just a part of getting older, so he drinks more water, hoping it'll go away. As the days go by, he begins to feel a bit worn out, somewhat disoriented and oddly chilly, despite the warm weather outside. By the time his family finally persuades him to head to the hospital, the infection has already made its way into his bloodstream. Before long, his condition takes a turn for the worse, and despite the doctor's dedicated efforts, Walter's organs start to fail. Many folks might not know that everyday infections, such as urinary tract infections, pneumonia, or even a little cut on the skin, can quickly turn into sepsis, particularly in older adults. As we get older, our immune system tends to weaken, which can make it a bit tougher for our bodies to fend off infections. What begins as a straightforward UTI or respiratory infection can escalate into a serious full-body emergency if bacteria make their way into the bloodstream. Once sepsis kicks in, every moment counts. Every hour without treatment raises the chances of death. Recognizing the early symptoms of sepsis can be a bit challenging since they often resemble common everyday problems such as feeling tired, having a slight fever, experiencing confusion, or feeling weak. Many seniors tend to dismiss these feelings as just a bit of discomfort, not recognizing that these subtle signs might actually be their body's way of indicating a serious infection. If not addressed, sepsis can lead to a significant drop in blood pressure, which can put essential organs such as the kidneys, liver, and heart at risk of shutting down. In certain situations, it can move so quickly that folks don't even reach the hospital in time. So, what are your options? It's important to take infections seriously, even if they appear minor. If you're experiencing a fever, chills, sudden confusion, or feeling weaker than usual, it's important not to brush it off. If a straightforward infection isn't getting better with home care, it's important to reach out for medical help right away. If you or someone you care about starts showing signs of sepsis, like quick breathing, feeling really tired, or a sudden drop in blood pressure, don't wait. Head to the hospital right away. If you're still with me on this video and enjoying these insights, drop a comment with the number 4 below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend hitting that subscribe button and turning on the bell so you won't miss any of our videos. Your support allows us to keep making great content that informs and inspires you. All right, let's keep going. Coming in at number 5, we have medication mismanagement. One of the most overlooked dangers after turning 70 isn't a health issue or an accident. Every day in homes across the country, medication mismanagement is a common occurrence. Taking the wrong dose, missing a pill, or mixing medications that don't get along can lead to serious health issues, including sudden heart problems, strokes, or even dangerous internal bleeding. The spooky part? Many seniors may not recognize they're at risk until a mistake has already happened. Think about someone like Helen, an 82-year-old who has been taking blood pressure medication for quite some time. She makes sure to take her pills every morning. But one evening, after dealing with some back pain, she grabs an over-the-counter pain reliever without a second thought. The next morning, she wakes up feeling a bit lightheaded and weak, but she figures she just needs to grab a bite to eat. Later that day, she falls to the ground. Little did she know, the pain reliever she took had a risky interaction with her blood thinner, leading to internal bleeding that slipped under the radar until it was too late. As we get older, our bodies handle medications in a different way. The liver and kidneys start to slow down, which means that drugs can linger in the system for a longer time, and sometimes they can even build up to toxic levels. Medications that might seem harmless when we're younger can actually have stronger effects as we age. Mixing the wrong ones, even over-the-counter drugs or herbal supplements, can lead to serious and sometimes even fatal consequences. Blood thinners, heart medications, and pain relievers are among the usual suspects, but even skipping a dose of heart or diabetes medication can really throw the body for a loop. Another big concern is prescription overload. Lots of seniors find themselves juggling several medications for various health issues, and it can definitely get a bit tricky. Some pills should be taken on an empty stomach, while others are best taken with food. Some things just don't go together, while others need to be timed just right. A simple scheduling mistake, such as taking a double dose because you can't remember if you've already taken it, can lead to a sudden drop in blood pressure, dangerously low blood sugar, or even a fatal heart rhythm. So, what can you do to keep yourself safe? First, make sure to keep an updated list of all your medications, including any supplements you take. When visiting multiple doctors, it's important to keep each one informed about all the medications you're taking. This helps prevent any potentially harmful interactions. Consider using a pill organizer or setting reminders to ensure you never miss a dose or accidentally take too much. Before you start any new medication, whether it's a prescription or something you can grab over the counter, it's a good idea to check in with your doctor or pharmacist to make sure it's safe to take alongside your current medications. Your health is something you should never leave to chance. Just a single small mistake with medication can lead to serious consequences. Staying informed and organized can really make a huge difference in critical situations. All right, let's keep going, wrapping things up. Kinanama Neudmund. Having looked at these 5 sudden death triggers after 70, it's a good time to think about which of these risks could be relevant to you or someone dear to you. Many folks don't quite grasp how delicate some parts of their health can get as they grow older. Sometimes the most dangerous threats are the ones that slip under the radar until it's too late to act. But here's the bright side. Being aware is the very first step to preventing issues down the line. Have you ever felt a bit dizzy when you stand up but brushed it off as no big deal? Maybe you've brushed off that slight swelling in your leg, assuming it was just from sitting for a while. It's easy to miss these signs, but little tweaks in your daily routine, like getting up more often, sipping water throughout the day, or keeping active, can truly make a life-saving difference. And if you're on medication, taking a moment to double-check dosages and interactions can be one of the easiest and most effective ways to keep yourself safe. This video aims to inform you, not to scare you, but to give you the knowledge you need. Understanding these risks gives you greater control over your health. Taking simple steps, such as being aware of the warning signs of a silent heart attack, keeping an eye out for early symptoms of sepsis, or taking precautions to prevent dangerous falls, can really help you add years to your life. And keep in mind, being proactive about your health isn't only about steering clear of risks. It's all about ensuring you can keep enjoying life, cherishing moments with loved ones, and engaging in the activities that bring you joy. We really appreciate you being here with us today. We're eager to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell us one thing you learned today and how you're thinking of using it in your life. We really value your thoughts, so please feel free to share them with us. Your comments really inspire and motivate us. If you liked this video and found it useful, we'd love for you to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Your support keeps us going, allowing us to create great content that informs and inspires you. We appreciate you tuning in, and we can't wait to catch you in the next video.